All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Wakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who teach and rule well. And salutations to the out there laboring of the hopeful elect that's doing this work in truth and sincerity. Pretty much, strolling through the net. I stumbled upon this page by the name of Go Black to Africa. You see here this Jake, pretty much this is his channel, the one with the dashiki on, okay? And Jake's, still lost, even though the truth is right in front of them, you see? Because they pretty much are still cleaving onto Africa, so to speak. You understand? But this particular video here, the title doesn't really go with the video, but it says Black American man gets much respect in Brazil and I never left. Well, in a way, in a sense, it does, because the individual you see there in the yellow, he pretty much moved to Brazil 20 years ago. And he's pretty much from Harlem, USA, in the United States, and pretty much never left. But they were having a conversation about pretty much of speaking about the diaspora, okay, that's living in Brazil, and the page, pretty much the guy that has this page, pretty much makes a profound statement that I want to share with the Akim, and this is something that we already knew through the spirit though, but we understand that people, when they start really doing the research though, it's evident of what things are, about pretty much the social construct, because there is a social construct that they have that's going on in Brazil, and this individual here is going to speak upon it. So without any further ado,
So let me interject real quick. I want you all to understand something, and I hope that I'll be able to have this translated into Portuguese. There's a collective effort to squeeze this really into for what my research now have brought me to this day. Black is a cover-up. Negro is really an identification of who a people are, separate from even the African tribes. For many of you all don't know, I've been digging deeper into the research and finding out that even by the European explorers, whether it was by the Spaniards, the Portuguese, whether it was the Belgians, they specifically differentiated Negro from African or Black because of the children of Israel. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, you gotta listen to my other videos when I've interviewed the other tribes of Israel, like the Limba, like the Igbo people. I will be interviewing the Yoruba. That the Negro was a separate group of people who were really in the center of Africa, migrating away from a lot of, we would say, persecution. So it's interesting that you're mentioning that Black was embraced, Negro was put aside. Finally. And I think that identification wants to be covered, and for us to embrace more Black. And I'm seeing something different here now than what I've seen.
And pretty much the one in the yellow doesn't know what the hell is going on. I mean, he made a statement. The one in the dashiki made a statement, which is true. Okay, but pretty much though, this is news to him, so to speak though. But we know that pretty much lines up with history, man. All right. So now I'm gonna pull up here. What you have here, this is a 1736 map of Negro land and Guinea with European settlements explaining what belonged to England, Holland, Denmark, right? And this is the West African American slave trade. Okay, so now pretty much these European nations, Edom, okay, they pretty much divvy up the land, so to speak. These were pretty much were becoming European settlements at the end of the day. So now let's pretty much get a close up on some of these maps. Slovakia. Okay, hold on a second. If I can pull it up real quick. Okay. Now here you have. Let's see if I get a better one. Bear with me 1 second. I'm trying to get a good. And this is pretty much the west coast of Africa, which they call the Gold Coast. Okay. I'm just trying to get a decent picture. Okay, here we go here. You see here, they called, below the Sahara Desert, okay, the lands that's highlighted here, you see the top here, Negro land. You see across here, okay? And then when you pretty much try to see if I can pull it up, you would see pretty much Timbuktu. And there was a book that's out now, that pretty much pretty much we was always bringing it out of how the Jews pretty much fled into Africa, fleeing Roman persecution, and that the slave markets pretty much were full of black Jewish slaves. You see, okay, so pretty much now the truth is coming out now, and it's clearly seeing now that these tribes pretty much were divided. Okay, it was pretty much the sons of Jacob, pretty much, against the sons of Ham. To put it in a nutshell, you see. And when you have a YouTuber that pretty much goes on and goes across to Africa to pretty much talk with the people, this is something that is not taught here in Babylon, is that these tribes are pretty much divided. Okay, speaking about the sons of Shem and the sons of Ham. You see, the Negroes versus the Hamites. They're divided people. They're not together. You see, but when you go into EE's social construct, pretty much you're thinking that everybody from the whole continent is one people, man. The saying goes that not all same skin folk or kinfolk, so to speak. Okay, and pretty much, man, we have things to back this up. And to really back that up about what he was saying, real quick, let's go into the Zondervan's Compact Bible Dictionary. Okay, now this is something that was pretty much put together. Okay, and it goes into the definition of Ham. Okay, this is on let's see, this is when you look up the definition of Ham. Okay, you see here it says Ham, the youngest son of Noah, and born probably 96 years before the flood, and one of 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes. You see? So now when you talk about, us being in captivity back in Egypt, okay, you see, Pharaoh and his descendants and his people, okay, were separate from us, okay? Pretty much, they represented the one of the 4 sons of Ham. So when you're going to get into the 4 sons of Ham, it says he became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes, making a separation, right? But the Egyptians, the Ethiopians, the Libyans, and Canaanites. And pretty much, you got Genesis, the 10th chapter, which, pretty much goes into the Table of Nations, verse 6 through 20, goes into the descendants of Ham. Okay? It says pretty much, let me see if I got the other thing here. Let's see here. No. But pretty much that's the point right there. But this pretty much right here on my book print, it pretty much goes into the second page, which I didn't pretty much take a still shot of, but the point is pretty much being made. Okay, so the scholars already know. All right, okay, and the Lord says so as well. Let's get the scripture real quick. Okay, this is Exodus 11, verse 7, and I'm gonna read this in the NIV. Okay. And let me set this up. Pretty much is when the Lord was speaking to Moses and told Moses that, listen, I'm going to kill the firstborn of everyone in Egypt, and then shall he let my people go. Okay, so pretty much he gave Pharaoh the last chance to pretty much let his people go, but now the Lord said, you know what, I'm just going to kill his firstborn. This was the last plague, because the other plagues were pretty much put upon Egypt, and the Lord pretty much hardened his heart. So now he said this one should be the deal breaker, so to speak. Okay? But I'm going to read up at verse 6, and the Lord said, and there will be a loud wailing throughout Egypt, worse than there has been ever will be again. And this pretty much was going into this Passover, man, of what was going on at this particular time. But the point is here in verse 7. It says, but among the Israelites, not a dog will bark at any person or animal, when you will know that the Lord makes a distinction between Egypt and Israel. You see? All right. And there's a few other scriptures too that pretty much makes a distinction, okay, between Egypt and Israel. You see? But pretty much though, the Lord was pretty much making a point here. All right. So now you're talking about two separate people, Now, pretty much, this YouTuber here, get back to the guy, he pretty much, hits the nail on the head, but these guys are still trying to cleave to Africa, so to speak. Okay? When he just said it right out of his own mouth, the children of Israel. You see? But there's some infatuation that Jake has with Africa, man. You see? So pretty much, man, the truth is pretty much getting out there, and there's people with these various platforms, so to speak. Okay? And to tell you the truth, man, hey, man, these lies are pretty much being broken down, man. All right, so to pretty much expound upon that, let's go with let's see here. Bear with me. All right, hold on. Let's see if I can pull it up. Okay. All right, from there, let's go to the book Nature Knows No Color Line by J.A. Rogers. Okay. Now, when you go into this book, okay, and this book is pretty much informative because, we know that we gotta, pretty much chew the meat and spit out the bones, but there's a lot of references that he makes to back up his claim. Okay, so from there, let's go to page 123. Okay, within this book. So now he's quoting one of these researchers. Okay. All right. Pretty much, in his name is Weiss Wolf. Pretty much probably pretty much most likely a small hat. But it says, Wolf says, an interesting graduation of all shades down to the black is exhibited by the Jews, especially dark were the Jews of Spain and Portugal, right? The Portuguese Jews were very dark, says Pritchard, okay? All right, he's quoting somebody that pretty much was doing the research on this, okay? It says, the Duchess d'Andreas, wife of Napoleon's ambassador to Portugal, said that the Jew, the Negro, and the Portuguese could be seen in a single person. Okay? You see? All right. So pretty much now he's saying that this is pretty much they can be seen in the same person. And it's just so fitting that this individual was down in Brazil doing this interview, okay, with the so-called Judite that pretty much moved there from Babylon and been living there for over 20 years. Okay? Now, the majority of the people in Brazil pretty much speak Portuguese. Okay? And they're speaking about the oppression that was being put there, and also the social construct that has been set up. You see? So pretty much he's saying that they were all the same people. Okay? All right, let me read it again. It says, then this was pretty much the wife of Napoleon's ambassador to Portugal, okay, said that the Jew, the Negro, and the Portuguese could be seen in a single person. So dark were the Jew, especially of Portugal and southwestern Spain, that many whites through all Jews were black, thought all Jews were dark or black. And it's pretty much the point that I want to make. And then now here you see the reference here to the person and the book. Okay, so he's pretty much coming with receipts, man. All right, the scriptures have the receipts. Okay, and pretty much, man, the knowledge that's in the earth right now, is pretty much the scriptures is pretty much they're backing up the scriptures, so to speak. Okay, you see, but at the end of the day, we don't need no mate with this whole thing. But it just goes to show you, okay, how this truth is pretty much out there and how the colonizers know. Okay, you see, because when you go back to the so-called Gold Coast, or what they like to call, okay, all right, this 1736 map, okay, each of a lot of these European countries had dibs on this land, and they benefited from the slave trade. You see, all right, but I think that's pretty much it, though. Something nice and quick, but pretty much backing up the fact is that, listen, and this individual here, he has some decent content, though, but there's a lot of ignorance that he still has within himself, because the first thing is that he would not even have this title, so to speak. But in his other videos, he pretty much does talk to the Igbo people, in Africa, and they pretty much still, carry the customs and traditions of the antiquity of the Israelites, man. You see? So this whole thing, man, is coming out and it's pretty much going full circle, All right. So with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rokakwadash, Shalom.